You ready?
Yes,
All right,
sir.
well, we'll call this meeting of the Board of Public Service to order. Could we have a roll call, please?
Director Scobie is not present. Director Rundy.
Here.
Director Hayes.
Here.
Director Roth.
Here.
Director Moore.
Here.
Director Gray.
Here.
And President Bradley is excused.
All right, shall we have a reading of the agenda? Is that the first matter?
You all have nominated Director Roth as President Pro Tem
Oh, yeah.
on
Oh,
record.
should we put that on the record then? Okay, yes, was there a motion to?
There was a
appoint-
motion to have Director Ross be the President Pro Tem.
Second.
Okay.
All right, it's moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, well, I'm honored to serve as your pro tem. Could we have a reading of the agenda, please?
Okay. From the President, we have contract and bond for letting number 8604, upgrade athletic field lighting in Carondelet Park. Recommends approval. Addendum number 1 for letting number 8608, 2016 four-pack roof renovations at Lambert St. Louis International Airport. Addendum number 2 for letting number 8610, replacement of airport lighting control and monitoring systems at Lambert St. Louis International Airport. From the President and Director of Streets, joint recommendation that permit for South Grand Community Improvement District to encroach with license plate reading cameras at Grand and Arsenal and Grand and Utah intersections be approved subject to certain conditions. From the Director of Public Utilities, recommendation that the Board declares as emergency action to make repairs to crew truck number 240-415. Recommendation that the Board declares as emergency action repair of services for heavy construction equipment backhoe at Chain of Rocks Water Treatment Plant. From the Director of Public Utilities and Streets, joint recommendation that the following permits be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. AT&T Missouri to access buried cable at 2646 Shenandoah and trench 16 feet in alley to new poles set at 2646 Shenandoah. Work performed is to place copper service to poles set at 2646 Shenandoah. AT&T Missouri from existing manhole near the intersection of South Spring and Humphrey, bore out of manhole into right-of-way. At right-of-way, turn right and bore an additional 160 feet. At this point, place new 3 by 5 by 3 feet handhole at the south of 3730 Humphrey, etc. AT&T Missouri from handhole south 6405 southwest, bore 1 fiber to raise pole at rear 6289 Magnolia. From handhole at 6405 southwest, bore 2 fibers to rise pole at 6411 southwest. AT&T Missouri from handhole at south 3730 Humphrey, bore to new 17 by 30 by 24 inch handhole at rear 3732 Wyoming. Fiber within rise pole at the same location from handhole at south 3730 Humphrey, bore to new 17 by 30 by 24 inch handhole at South 3735 Utah. From handhole at 3735 Utah, bore to new 17 by 30 by 24 handhole at 3731 McDonald, etc. AT&T Missouri in green space 15 feet utility easement replacement existing 2 by 3 by 2 handhole with new 3 by 2 by 3 feet handhole. From this handhole trench to new 3 by 3 concrete pad with fiber distribution box, backfill level ground, and build new tie wall around new equipment at rear 6584 Pinard and 6584 Pinard. AT&T Missouri in the right-of-way, town remove existing 17 by 30 by 24 inch handhole and replace with new 3 by 5 by 3 handhole. Place new 4 by 4 concrete pad with fiber distribution box. Hand dig to fiber distribution box at South 6405 Southwest. AT&T Missouri access buried cable at 2646 Shenandoah and trench 16 feet in alley to new pole set at 2646 Shenandoah. Work performed is to place copper service to pole set at 2646 Shenandoah. AT&T Missouri from handhole at rear 6584 Pinard, bore to new 17 by 30 by 24 inch at rear 65 83 Thelozin from Handhold at rear 65, 83 Thelozin board to new 2x3x2 Handhold at right 65, 84 Oletha from Handhold at rear 65, 84 Oletha doing work at 65, 85, 6628 Marquette and 6621 Marquette. Verizon Wireless allow placement in Forest Park near Upper Muni Lot, temporary mobile communication towers, sales on wheels, cows, during the special event, the Lou Fest, from July 30th, 2016 through September 20th, 2016. Charter Communications dig a shallow hole of 2 feet by 2 feet by 4 feet and insert 4-inch bore head going from pole at rear of 6018 Oletha in the alley boring east toward T in alley behind 6014 Oletha. Turn, re-entering shallow hole of 2 feet by 2 feet by 4 feet and insert 4-inch bore behind 3533 Hampton. Union Electric doing business in Amarin, Missouri to set pole and anchor being replaced approximately 30 feet from previous location on the North Tucker and 13th Street. Union Electric Company doing business in Amarin, Missouri to set poles in alley of Cherokee east of Ohio at 2639 Cherokee. From the Director of Public Utilities and Public Safety. Joint recommendation that permit for Kirby Boyd doing businesses 3972 through 74 Utah LLC for a lot split at 3972 through 74 Utah in City Block 4147. Recommends approval. And St. Louis Food Hub LLC for a boundary adjustment at 1300 through 98 and 1500 through 16 Lafayette and City Block 415, 414, 820, 820 North, and 820 West. Recommends approval subject to certain conditions. From the Director of Streets, recommendation that permit for Sugar Fire to encroach with Sidewalk Cafe, 4 tables and 16 chairs utilizing 175 square feet at 605 Washington. Recommends approval subject to certain conditions. From the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Forestry, recommendation that Gateway Fireworks to hold firework display June 11, 2016 in Francis Park for St. Gabriel's Parish Picnic. Recommends approval subject to certain conditions. From the Director of Public Safety, recommendation that 4 festival zones be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. Twang Fest, June 8 through 11, 2016 at the curbside parking only for food truck. Tower Grove Pride, June 25, 2016 at South Grand and Hartford and in Ritz Park. Fairgrounds, St. Louis, Forest Park, Art Hill, and surrounding area, July 2nd through the 4th, 2016. Riverfront Marketplace Swamp Meet, July 16th through 17th, August 20th through 21st, September 17th through 18th, October 15th through 16th, at Lenore K. Sullivan and at Popular. Recommends approval. Now we have the conditional uses.
Good afternoon, members of the board. Dylan Mosier, zoning plan examiner for the city of St. Louis, representing the building commission. Per board order number 766, transmitted here with our recommendations for the following conditional use agenda applications. Approval with conditions is recommended for 5 applications: 3821 Illinois, 1827 Garrison, 6401 West Park, 5600 Hampton, and 5412 South Grand. I request that these recommendations be approved as submitted.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the conditional use recommendations?
Motion to approve the conditional uses.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Director Scobie is excused. Director Rundy?
Aye.
Director Hayes?
Aye.
Director Ross?
Aye.
Director Moore?
Aye.
Director Gray?
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Motion's approved. We have addendum 1, one other item that I think needs to be read, if it hasn't already, on a contract and bond for the, was that read as part of? Yeah. Okay, it was. All right. We have the minutes of the May 24th regular meeting of the Board of Public Service that have been circulated. Are there any questions or clarifications or corrections that need to be made?
Motion to approve the minutes from May 24th?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Previous roll has been requested. Is there any objection to previous roll? Hearing none. Approved. We have Addendum 1 to our agenda that needs to be, with the agenda formally amended to include Addendum 1. Is there a motion to amend the agenda to include Addendum 1?
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Previous row.
Previous roll has been requested. Is there any objection to previous roll? There being none, it's approved. We have to now take up whether to accept the agenda itself now that it's amended.
I move to accept the agenda.
Second. Previous row.
Moved and seconded with previous roll. Is there any objection to using previous roll? Hearing none, it's approved. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you all. We adjourn.